Woo! Yeah. Hello, everyone, and welcome to Humanist Reacts. So, getting back into some classic metal here, uh, particularly a band I've checked out a couple of their things, and I've been wanting to listen to more. This is Iron Maiden again. Um, I do want to mention I actually recorded a reaction to the Trooper, um, but there was a mix up with the sound. Nothing came out sounding right, and it was a big old mess. And but I was really impressed by that one. So so this one is sort of a consolation prize for that. Um, so this one is The Prisoner, and this one is also from Hammersmith. So this is live 1982 at Hammersmith, and yeah, no more introduction. Let's get into it.
We want information. 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 Who are you? The new number 2. Who is number 1? You are number 6. I am not a number. I am a free man.
Okay, okay. So for me, so far, this track, the main event, is the drummer. So snappy and tight that from the very first lick, it was just pop. It was so staccato and uh just had a punch to it that felt great. And his whole track, um the drummer, whose name I don't know. I At this point I know Steve Harris and I know Bruce Dickinson, and that's it. But the drummer is who I'm talking about here. The drummer's track is so tight, um, and punchy throughout. It's the driving force of this song, um, to my ears. And but and the guitar riffs are also very very tight, very what's the word I'm looking for? Very practiced and exact. Um, and like there's that slide up that's happening as part of the main riff, but and that's it's real easy to make a slide like that sound sloppy, but it's not at all. It's very very precise. Um, Lyrically, it's I mean I'm getting the sort of sense of it here. I think um, I think I think this is, I mean, obviously the name of the track is The Prisoner. So I'm feeling, this is this is someone who was imprisoned and who broke out. And now they're kind of living off the land, sort of like an animal just trying to survive because they're on the run. It's sort of what I'm getting. I mean, well, I just said they're on the run, and that's one of the lyrics. I'm on the run. I killed, eat. I'm starving, feeling dead on my feet. Um, and then he talks about being free. Uh, not a prisoner. I'm a free man. And there's that sort of primal sense of freedom there that I'm starving and I'm barely alive. I'm living like an animal and that's freedom, right? um it's a very bleak freedom that I that can feel romantic at the same time, especially would feel romantic in comparison to being a prisoner. So I'm so there's some so it feels like there's some double meaning here. There's the prisoner who is broken free is there's obviously the literal meaning, but it also feels like maybe that's a bit of a metaphor for for being free from sort of the shackles of societal expectations, or from the constraints the of the broader culture in which you exist. Um, so yeah, it's that's kind of what I'm getting from this. Um, as usual, the lyrics are great. So far, just being honest, because I have to be honest in these things, or else what am I doing? Um, these lyrics are not on the same level as the Trooper. Um, the lyrics in the Trooper just blew me away, y'all. And I'm really upset that the audio didn't come out in that one, so that you all could have seen my reaction to it. But the lyrics in that song were just phenomenal. So it's really hard to live up to that. It's hard. That's a hard act to follow, no matter what song it is. So, but yeah. Anyway, I've talked long enough about this. Let's get back into it. on, hang on. Those solos, y'all. Y'all. Okay. So I noticed this in the Trooper as well. These two guitarists, they've got at least in the Trooper and in this song, they play with different tones. You've got the person who's playing the Red Explorer is playing with a really clean tone, just very clear, minimal distortion. I don't hear any distortion in it, but there might be a little bit there, but minimal distortion, and just very sort of look for. He plays in a very almost like classical style, right? Sort of where the importance comes from the tone of what he's playing, from the notes that he's playing, and then the other guitarist plays with a much more distorted. This Sunburst Explorer. They're both playing Explorers in this one. I think in the Trooper, one of them was playing a Flying V, and one of them was playing an Explorer. But either way, so the other guy, Sunburst Explorer, he plays with a much more distorted, much dirtier tone, and is much more sort of freewheeling in his solo. He seems to be the quote lead guitarist. If you had to put a label on which one of them is lead and which one of them is rhythm, Sunburst seems to be the guy who is the lead guitarist. But they both play, they both get solos. They both got solos in the Trooper as well. It's really great the way that those solos like mesh with each other, because you start out getting that clean, clear solo from Red Explorer guy, and it's very and don't get it twisted. If you're not a guitarist, that may sound like the easy one, but repeating that same pattern over and over again like that takes a lot of practice, and to keep it from ever getting off beat or ever hitting a sour note or anything when you're just repeating. Sometimes it's easier to not hit a wrong note when you're playing a string of notes rather than just repeating the same note, because also when you're repeating the same pattern, because when you're repeating the same pattern, it also makes it a lot easier for people to hear it when something is wrong. So it's harder to disguise when you hit something that's just a hair off. So don't get it twisted. That's difficult, and that was wonderful, and it was this nice sort of lead in, and then Sunburst Explorer comes in with that screaming, like soaring solo that he did. Just you could see it on my face that it just felt good throughout. Yeah, it's just like the others that I've heard. This is great. This is terrific. Um, there's not really much more to talk about in the lyrics, because there wasn't a whole lot of change here. But I guess um, there is a little bit here, I guess, because there's the if you kill me, it's self-defense. But if I kill you, then I call it vengeance. So I call it vengeance. But if you kill me, it's self-defense. Implies that I exist outside of your laws. You exist inside of them, and that's why you get a pass if you kill me, because it's self-defense if you kill me. But I exist outside of them. So, and then that second line, if I kill you, I call it vengeance. I call it vengeance, meaning that since I'm not under the same, I don't exist under the same laws and the same sort of uh, cultural rules as you, then I'm applying my own rules, and in my rules, you're the villain, and and it's almost as if I am revenging. I am taking out my revenge on society at large by killing you, someone who is inside of that society, someone who represents it. You are a representative of the society that I have been um, ostracized by, or that I reject in the name of my own freedom. And so my murder of you um, is also justified in my own mind because it's symbolic. So anyway, there's yeah. So there's a little bit there, but but for the most part, it's just a 4 line verse and then back into the chorus. So there really wasn't a whole lot more to talk about from a lyrical standpoint. But either way, just great. It's great. Um, yeah, back into it. Terrific. Terrific. Um, is it just me, y'all, or did Dickinson hit some sour notes there? I I'm sorry. I know there's gonna be huge Maiden fans out there that are either gonna like call me a hater for saying that, or gonna be like, oh, you just don't understand music. Those were exactly the notes he meant to hit. Maybe they were, but it felt like he wasn't quite on key on a couple of these. As I understand it, um, this concert happened like after they recorded this album, but before the album actually released, maybe something like that. So maybe he's still getting the hang of where some of those notes fall or something. But for the most part, he was fantastic throughout. But right toward the end of the song, there were a couple of times where a little he seemed just slightly off. He seemed just a little bit flat maybe, but maybe that's me. But it didn't, it was just a moment, and it is a live performance, um, and it is from 1982. So, you know, so there you go. There's something to be said there, but overall, it was overall fantastic. Um, I love the lyricism as usual. I'm assuming Steve Harris wrote this one as well. Um, as a lyricist, he's amazing from everything that I've seen so far. Um, the drums and the guitar in this one were phenomenal. Um, yeah, huge, huge fan. I'm so glad that I started listening to Maiden. I mentioned before that I never seemed to connect to him when I was younger, in the little bit that I heard, and so I just kind of left them off to the side. I'm so glad that I started listening to Maiden for this channel, because they're fantastic. Everything that I've heard so far. So let me know what Maiden song I should listen to next, or if there's another band that I should check out from back around this time period, something like that. Somebody that I haven't heard. As I mentioned before, I'm missing a lot of stuff from the sort of early metal years. So if there's something else I should check out, let me know that as well. Hopefully you enjoyed this. If you did, um, like, subscribe, comment but down below and let me know, what to do next, and or what you thought of this, or what I got wrong, that sort of thing. And until next time, y'all take care.